before we get too into our cozy sweater weather vibes, we have to go back and talk about my favorite reads from the summer. I'm going to go over the 5 books, that's it, that I read in summer of 2022 that I absolutely loved, raved about, enjoyed, were pleasant surprises, and all of that in between. First, we're going to cover the 2 ebooks that I read this summer. First up, we have The Wedding Season. I read a lot of books that deal with weddings. I don't know what it is. Every single time I turn around, there's a wedding in a book. And I don't know if it's just that weddings are a common theme in romance books, or I just seem to somehow gravitate towards those books without even realizing it. Something about a wedding. Yet I can't say that I've been to many weddings in my life, so I don't know. Probably like the 5th or 6th wedding book that I have read this year that is like explicitly weddings. A girl who, or a woman who right before her wedding, her fiance said, yeah, no, I can't do this, and bounced. Her wedding was supposed to start off wedding season, which is kind of like spring through summer. So now that the wedding didn't happen, she pretty much has to go through the whole wedding season single and finding herself and trying to be okay going to all these weddings that she planned on going to with her husband. I connected with the female protagonist of this book so quickly. She just felt like my girl. I loved her. I don't know. I feel like I would be friends with her. I love when I have that feeling with someone, whether it's like an artist or like someone on YouTube or like a new friend. Like I feel like I've been friends with you forever. So you already have me sold right there. And I also just really loved how there were so many conversations in this book, but it wasn't so much revolving around the romance. It really revolved around her finding herself and really confronting those conversations that I think she was avoiding in many parts of her life, not only in friendships and relationships, but also in her own family. And I love that this felt very well rounded and also just kind of leaves you on a very hopeful note. It just shows that like some things are for the best. There's one scene in particular in this book that I really loved. It was a friendship scene. It's just her and her friends, and her friends had her back. Let me just say that. And that sold me. I was like, yes, now that's a good group of friends right there. So I really love the friendship aspect in this, but of course we have to talk about the romance. The romance was really good. It wasn't even something that I was like sure was going to be a romance at first, but it definitely pulled through in the most unexpected way. And this is definitely a book that I want to buy physically one day because I want to read it again and I really want to take notes and just kind of like have my reactions in there. But yeah, it was so good. The other ebook that I read this summer and loved was How to Fake It in Hollywood. Now, I don't really love fake dating, and as you can tell, How to Fake It in Hollywood, fake dating is the main trope of this book. Loved it because I feel like it felt very realistic to me. PR couples are a thing in Hollywood. I don't think it's always like romantic PR relationships. I think sometimes PR is like also depicted in friendships in Hollywood, which I feel like that's probably a lot more common than actual full-fledged relationships. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. I really did like how the author approached this. I liked that you got to see the 2 actors and how and why they were motivated to go into this PR relationship, and kind of the things that made it fall apart, the things that really made them somehow connect together. And I really liked that. I also thought it was very interesting how when I was getting the backstories on the different actors, I could picture in my mind where the author got the inspo for the actors' backlog of work. I got through it very quickly, so I think considering how the rest of the year has gone, that really stands out in my book. Now, the books that I was able to read physically. First up, we have Dating Dr. Dill. I have talked about this book quite a few times. I also have a reading vlog, Lucky for You. It's also kind of fake dating, but it's also enemies to lovers, but also it definitely was one that stood out to me mainly and unexpectedly because of the dates that they went on. I just found that the dates they went on were so memorable and just so different. And it made me realize that a lot of time in romances, I don't really see them going on dates. Like, they'll go out to dinner, but they aren't going anywhere fun or like different or doing something spontaneous and like not exactly the most sexy and appealing thing, but they're going on a date together to do this thing. I don't want to give you the exact examples that are in the book, but they're very unexpected, but they're playful and they really bounce off each other's energy and they understand the playfulness of each other. So I just really loved the variety of different types of dates and how you can spontaneously decide like, hey, I know we're doing this, but do you want to go and do this instead? And it's like, why not? I've never done it before. Now, there were some other things that, like the family aspects and the dynamics and drama, some of it was a little bit, I didn't really love it, but this story in the end just ended up being memorable because of the dates. And I really want to see more creativity with dates in romances instead of just going to dinner or just going to the movies or just coming to someone's house or something and just being like, whatever. I want to see you guys go on dates. You know, I would dare say this is probably a book that really took off the most from TikTok. You probably already have an idea of what I'm gonna say. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I know, but I related to this book a lot. It was something that I wasn't expecting that. I didn't go into this thinking I was going to have so many similar thoughts to the main character. Isn't her name Lily? Yeah, Lily. I didn't think that was going to happen in this story, so when it did, I kind of just connected to it in a whole different way. Since I've read this and I've heard people talk about it after they read it or finish it, I wonder if we read the same book, because some people are very just nonchalant about it. They're like, it's a sad book, there's a lot of sad topics, but the romance is so good. And I'm like, okay. And so I didn't expect this book to be about abuse. This is about physical, emotional, mental abuse, all of it. It's also generational. And I think that needs to be emphasized a lot more in the pitch work of this book. It's detailed. And I don't know, something about that just threw me off. Like, I annotated this so much. I don't think I would read this again. I would recommend this to people with hesitance. I would just be like, please just make sure you look up the trigger warnings and proceed with caution. This is not just your average romance. Like, this is not people we meet on vacation, okay? No, I didn't think, I don't know. I mean, I knew, but I didn't know, you know? I think I liked more the growth that Lily had in like her relationships than the actual romance of it all, past or present. Just saying. Now, the last book that I have to talk about is one that took me by surprise, but I'm on the bandwagon now. I'm here for it. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It's so good. I really loved this book for everything that it was, and for just it focused on the mystery of the murder so much. I love that it didn't focus so much on Pippa and me trying to remember the names. Pip, oh, they call her Pip. And I like that it was focused. I like that it moved fast. Every single time we got a new clue, we went straight to it and got shit done. And I think that's the main thing that appealed me to this. I just flew through it. I couldn't put it down almost, which made it suck that I had to work, because I was just like, listen, I want to keep reading this, but it was just so good. And I don't want to spoil anything or like, you know, let you know too much, but there is a murder that happened in this small town years ago, and for a school project, Pip wants to investigate it. Pretty much is what happens. And it's just a rush, literally from the first chapter. There's just, Pip does not, no days off. With that, those are all of the books that I raved and loved during summer 2022. It has been a great summer. It has been an insanely hot summer also. But I did get some reading done. I also did manage to hit 50 books read, which was my goal for the year, and hey, I hit it. Now we are just gliding through the rest of the year. Whatever books we read, we are reading at our leisure, and I can't wait to see what books we get into for the fall. Hopefully a lot more 4 and 5 star reads for me. Everyone put out the good vibe. That's everything. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe and turn on alerts so you do not miss new videos. And that is everything. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!
Only live in the dreams, baby.